No one revealed this about Jordan, but I will.
Well, you can convince me he was.
There is no way Michael Jordan was not involved. That one sentence reopened a rivalry that never healed and never cooled down. The moment those words came out, the basketball world reacted fast because everyone knew exactly what he was talking about. When it comes to Michael Jordan, there is one person he never forgives, never lets go, and never looks at the same way, and that is Isiah Thomas. This was never just a basketball rivalry. This was personal, deep, and bitter, and it stayed that way for decades. The tension between Isiah Thomas and Michael Jordan did not start on national television. It did not start in the playoffs or during interviews. It started way before cameras were everywhere and before documentaries explained the story. In the mid-1980s, Detroit belonged to Isiah Thomas. He was the heart of the city. He played through pain, controlled games, and turned Detroit into a nightmare for other teams. The Pistons were tough, physical, and fearless. They did not care about style or popularity. They cared about winning.
David, obviously you said it was a happy day for you today, but tell me why you thought it was a happy day for me. I said it was a great day for Michael because he's done extraordinary things for our game.
Detroit was his house, his rules, his pride. Then everything changed fast. A rookie from North Carolina entered the league with confidence, skill, and attention the NBA had never seen before. Michael Jordan showed up and shifted everything. The league did not just gain a great player, it gained a global star. Jordan was not just winning games, he was selling the game. Shoes, commercials, highlights, posters, magazines, and culture followed him everywhere. The NBA started changing from a tough league into a worldwide product, and Jordan was the face of that change. For Isiah Thomas, that shift hurt badly. This was not just about losing to a better player, it was about losing attention, losing relevance, and losing control of the spotlight. Isiah built his name on toughness. Jordan built his on greatness and attraction. Detroit's energy stayed local. Chicago's energy went global. That difference created a quiet jealousy that slowly turned into anger. Isiah watched the crown he thought belonged to Jordan land on his head instead, right in front of the whole world. That kind of moment stays with a person forever. Things started boiling over at Jordan's first All-Star game. Rumors spread that Isiah pushed other players.
Keep talking on TNT. Oh, Mike's just, now you're trying to say everybody better than Mike. It's okay. You not better than Mike. He came to your city and took your city. That's why you really mad. He took over Chicago. I know. Tough. I think Scotty probably felt like he was more to Mike than these guys. He should have got more action than Dennis Rodman and Steve Kerr. I think Dennis got too much play, and Kerr. Curry might have hit 2 shots in 8 years. Dennis, he did his thing, rebound. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you, Dennis. You know what it is. I'm the enforcer. You the claim. You the clown. I just try to keep it real.
Jordan was taking his city, his moment, and his future. When Jordan started owning Chicago, winning fans, headlines, and love, it hurt even more. Isiah was a Chicago native who ruled Detroit, and now another Chicago player was becoming the king of the league. Behind the Pistons' toughness was fear. Fear of being forgotten, fear of fading out, fear of losing everything he worked for. That fear turned into action on the court. The Pistons created something ruthless. They did not just guard Jordan, they hunted him. They studied him, trapped him, hit him, and tried to break him. After Jordan dropped 59 points on Detroit in 1988, something snapped. That is when the Jordan rules were born. The Jordan rules were not normal defense. They were a plan built for one man. Every drive was crowded. Every lane was closed. Big bodies waited for him at the rim. If Jordan drove, he got hit. If he jumped, he got knocked down. The Pistons wanted to wear him down physically and mentally. They wanted him to feel pain every single night. But
That city embraced me so well. I said the first couple of months, and then all of a sudden, I'm like overshadowing Michael now. I'm more famous than Michael. And Michael said, oh my God, then when I went home, and for Halloween, my kids, they was dressed up like Dennis Rodman.
That's awesome.
To Jordan's first championship, the Pistons era ended right there. Then came the moment that lives forever. Instead of shaking hands, Isiah Thomas walked off the court with seconds left. No respect, no acknowledgement, just bitterness. Some Pistons stayed behind and did the right thing. Isiah did not. That image became a symbol of everything wrong between him and Jordan. the fallout was heavy. Bulls players called it childish. Jordan stayed quiet but never forgot. Moments like that fueled him. Every slight made him sharper. Every insult made him stronger. That path always led to the throne, the same throne Isiah could not stand watching him take. Years passed, but the bitterness stayed. Isiah kept talking. He claimed Jordan never beat Larry Bird or Magic Johnson. He said he dominated Jordan. The numbers did not support that. The rings did not support that. Reality did not support that. Then came the Dream Team in 1992, the greatest roster ever built. One name was missing, Isiah Thomas. Officially, it was about chemistry. Unofficially, everyone knew the truth. Isiah had burned bridges. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and others did not want him there. Later, audio surfaced where Jordan allegedly said he would not play if Isiah was on the team. Isiah had the resume, but not the relationships. Talent was not enough. Chemistry mattered. His own actions built the wall that kept him out. That reality haunted him for decades. When The Last Dance aired, everything came back. Jordan's dominance played on screen. The footage spoke for itself. Calm, focused, unbothered. Meanwhile, Isiah appeared bitter and defensive. Every interview followed the same pattern. He tried to lower Jordan to lift himself. But numbers never lie. Jordan averaged over 30 points per game. Isiah averaged under 20. Jordan raised his level in the playoffs. 6 finals MVPs. Isiah won 2 rings, but when they met head-to-head in 1991, Jordan swept him. Jordan did not just win games, he became culture. Shoes, ads, highlights, moments. He became the NBA. Isiah stayed a Detroit legend, respected but limited. Outside Detroit, the world moved on. This rivalry was never equal. One man moved on and built a legacy. The other stayed stuck, replaying the past. Isiah did not just lose to Jordan on the court, he lost the future he thought belonged to him. And that is why, decades later, one sentence from Isiah still shakes the basketball world. Because deep down, this was never about basketball. It was about watching someone else become everything you wanted to be, and never being able to accept it. That feeling of watching someone else live the future you believed was yours never truly goes away, and for Isiah Thomas, it stayed close to the surface. Even when years passed and the league moved on, every mention of Michael Jordan seemed to reopen old wounds. Interviews that were supposed to be about history always turned into defense. Praise for Jordan always sounded like an attack on Isiah. Instead of peace, there was resistance. Instead of closure, there was anger. What made it harder was that Jordan never needed to speak. He did not need to argue or explain. His career spoke for him. 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, 5 regular season MVPs, 10 scoring titles. Every big moment belonged to him. The more Isiah talked, the louder the silence from Jordan became. That silence said everything. It showed confidence, not fear. It showed someone who had already won the argument long ago. Isiah, on the other hand, kept trying to remind people of his era. He spoke about toughness, team basketball, and sacrifice. And to be fair, those Pistons teams were real champions. They earned their rings. They fought through pain and pressure. But the problem was never respect for the Pistons. The problem was comparison. Isiah wanted to be mentioned in the same breath as Jordan, and that is where the frustration lived. The gap between great and greatest is wide, and no amount of talking can close it. Every time Isiah claimed he dominated Jordan, fans went back to the tape. They watched Jordan get knocked down, get back up, and keep attacking. They watched him lose, learn, and return stronger. That growth is what defines greatness. Jordan did not avoid the challenge. He absorbed it and turned it into fuel. Detroit tried to stop him with force, and he responded with evolution. The truth is, the Jordan rules helped create the Jordan we remember. Without Detroit pushing him to the edge, maybe he never becomes that unstoppable force. In a strange way, Isiah and the Pistons helped build the monster they feared. But acknowledging that would mean admitting defeat, and that is something Isiah never seemed ready to do. As time went on, the league changed again. New stars arrived, new rivalries formed, yet this one never faded. It stayed alive because one side could not let it rest. Jordan moved forward into ownership, business, and legacy. Isiah stayed in front of cameras, explaining why the past should be viewed differently. But history does not bend easily. Fans remember what they felt, what they saw, and who stood tallest when the lights were brightest. The walk-off in 1991 remains the clearest image. That moment showed everything. Winning with grace matters. Losing with respect matters even more. Some Pistons understood that. Isiah chose another path. That choice followed him forever. It became part of his story whether he liked it or not. When younger fans ask why this feud still matters, the answer is simple. It shows the difference between talent and legacy. Many players are talented, few define an era. Jordan did not just win championships, he changed how the world saw basketball. He turned the NBA into a global stage. Isiah was a star in his time, Jordan became timeless. And that's the hardest truth for Isiah Thomas to accept. Not that he lost games, not that he lost a rivalry, but that history chose someone else. The crown did not slip, it was taken, and once it was gone, it never came back. In the end, this story is not about hatred, it's about pride, it's about ego, it's about what happens when greatness meets something even bigger. Michael Jordan became the standard. Everyone else, including Isiah Thomas, was measured against him. Some accepted that role, some did not. That is why decades later the tension still exists, because for Isiah the battle never ended, but for Jordan it was already won. Even after all these years, that difference in mindset continues to define how both men are remembered. Michael Jordan is spoken about in moments, game winners, finals performances, championships. When people say his name, they think of results. Isiah Thomas is spoken about in explanations, context, defense, systems. When people say his name, they often hear a defense of why he should be ranked higher. That contrast alone explains everything. Isiah wanted fairness in the conversation, but legacy is not built on fairness. It is built on impact. Jordan's impact reached far beyond the court. Kids across the world wore his shoes without ever watching a full NBA game. His highlights played in countries that never showed basketball before. He made people care. That level of influence is rare, and once it exists, it cannot be shared. That reality made the Dream Team snub hurt even more. For Isiah, it felt like final proof that the league had fully moved on. His coach was leading the team. His resume was strong, yet the door stayed closed. Chemistry was the excuse, but pride was the truth. By that point, the league was done with drama. They wanted unity, smiles, and global appeal. Isiah represented conflict. Jordan represented the future. Every time Isiah spoke about that moment, the pain was clear. It was not about missing a gold medal, it was about being told you are no longer needed. That message hits harder than any loss on the court. And unlike a game, there was no rematch. As Jordan's legend grew, Isiah's voice grew louder. He appeared on shows, panels, and podcasts. The message stayed the same. He wanted balance. He wanted recognition. But every attempt only reminded people of the gap. Jordan never had to say he was the best. The world said it for him. The Last Dance made that gap impossible to ignore. The footage showed leadership, control, and dominance. Jordan faced pressure and owned it. Isiah appeared defensive, emotional, and stuck in the past. For many fans, that documentary closed the debate forever. It did not attack Isiah, it simply showed reality. And reality can be unforgiving. Isiah was a champion, a leader, a Hall of Famer, but he was not the center of the universe. Jordan was. That truth shaped the league and everyone in it. Some players found peace in that role. Isiah never fully did. When people look back now, they see the rivalry clearly. One man tried to stop greatness. The other absorbed the challenge and rose above it. One stayed in the fight mentally. The other moved on and built a legacy that no argument could touch. This is why that single comment from Isiah still causes reaction, because it reminds everyone that some battles never truly end. They just live quietly inside the people who lost them. In the end, Michael Jordan's story is about growth, dominance, and control. Isiah Thomas's story is about resistance, pride, and unfinished emotion. Both are part of NBA history, but only one defines it. And that truth is what time keeps proving, no matter how often the past is revisited. As time keeps moving forward, the distance between those two legacies only grows wider. New generations discover Michael Jordan not through live games, but through stories, clips, and moments that still feel powerful decades later. The age does not weaken them. If anything, they feel larger. The hang time, the confidence, the control, the way he owned pressure, all of it still looks different. That is how you know something is truly special. Isiah Thomas, meanwhile, is often reintroduced through controversy. A quote, a reaction, a disagreement. His playing days are not what bring him back into the conversation, it is his opinions about Jordan. That alone tells a story. When your legacy depends on another man's name, it means the shadow never lifted. What makes this rivalry even more complex is that Isiah was never a bad player. He was brilliant, smart, tough, fearless. He led his team through wars. He sacrificed personal numbers for team success. Those Pistons teams were not accidents. They were built on discipline and belief. Isiah deserves respect for that, but respect and reverence are not the same thing. Jordan earned reverence. He earned it in the moments where the pressure was highest. Finals, Game 7s, last shots. When everything was on the line, he did not pass responsibility. He took it, over and over again. That is why history treats him differently. Isiah often talks about head-to-head records and team success, but basketball history does not live in spreadsheets. It lives in memories. People remember how Jordan made them feel. They remember fear, excitement, and certainty. When Jordan had the ball, everyone believed something big was coming. That belief is power. The Pistons tried to take that power away. They hit him, they crowded him, they challenged him, and for a while it worked. But greatness is not about avoiding struggle, it's about surviving it. Jordan did not complain. He adapted. He grew stronger. He turned pain into progress. By the time Detroit fell, the story was already written. Jordan had passed the test. The league belonged to Jordan. The Pistons faded and the conversation shifted. Isiah was left looking backward while Jordan moved forward. Years later, when Isiah speaks, there is still a need to explain, to justify, to reframe. But the past does not change because someone is uncomfortable with it. History is not decided in interviews, it's decided on the court. Jordan's legacy became untouchable not because people protected it, but because it survived every challenge. Physical defense, media pressure, expectations, doubt. He faced all of it and still stood at the top. This rivalry teaches a quiet lesson. Talent can win games, toughness can win championships, but acceptance is what brings peace. Jordan accepted his place and owned it. Isiah never fully accepted losing that place. And that is why, even now, the story feels unfinished for one man and complete for the other. One still fights the past, the other let the past build him. In the end, Michael Jordan did not just win against Isiah Thomas, he outgrew him, and that is a loss no stat or argument can erase.